Hello and welcome to Piura. It's going to be another Albatros flight today. We are flying to Trujillo, also in Peru. It's going to be a VOR to VOR flight as usual nowadays with the Albatros, and let's get into it. As usual, we start by opening the fuel valve and turning on battery, engine systems and avionics. It takes a while for the avionics to boot, so we use this time to start the APU. And while the APU is starting and the GNS is booting, let's enter our first VOR, which is the local one at 117.7. And we are going to fly away from it to the direction of 154. So 154. And enter. We can now already activate it. We are going to fly based on VORs. And let's start with 7,000 feet. Sadly, this G3X Touch autopilot does not accept pre-selecting modes, so we will need to do so while flying. I will leave the 7,000, just turn it to altitude reporting. And now we can also start the engine. The APU is now functioning for a while. Let's check. And 2 is slowly rising. What our main concern with the Albatros and the startup is the oil pressure. Once it is in the green, it will start just fine. Now that it is running, we can also add the generators and the inverters to it. Let's turn the strobes on, the nav lights to flashing mode, and lights to taxi. Okay, we have a bit of selection what to trample over. Oh, let's change some bits before we move. We will need a notch of trim, and we will need flaps takeoff. Okay, we are ready to roll. Oh. Just need to set the zoom to some setting that helps me actually see the ground speed. This magenta color is very bad to read even with the tiniest. Zoom out. I did not press the parking brake, did I? Sorry, mate. Was good to know you. Okay, one A19er is identified. Now lights landing. So flaps takeoff trim is set. Let's take off too. We can move the heading back in a completely wrong direction to the intended 154. And now spool it up all the way to takeoff position, 106% of N2. And we are already 120 knots, 30, 40, we can pull our nose up, gears up, flaps up, and we are over the VOR. Of course it's just at the runway, so we will re-establish with our route. Let's pull back the thrust to below 100%. Already overshot the VOR. But this is nothing the autopilot we won't be able to handle, so let's turn autopilot, nav mode, flight level change. Let's not overspeed, so that we will now we will see how far we are from Piura, and let's set an altitude that's a bit over 10,000 feet, so we may go as fast as we want. Let's just go with 110. Flight level change. Let's move it down to 250. And enjoy the awesome power of the Albatros doing 8,000 feet per minute while climbing. We don't need the landing lights to be on anymore. Oh, come on. I just wanted to get back to the cockpit. So, our next VOR will be 114.9er. The total length of this leg is 102 nautical miles. So we might be able to pick it up. Let's give it a try. We are. That's great. Let's switch back to nav mode. And this way we are flying exactly into the direction of the VOR. I don't know about you, but I like to fly more towards to a VOR than away from. Not much to see here. No? Okay, I might have been wrong about it. I was trying to turn on the wind directions onto the PFD, but seems like that's not in the chief rigs. In a way, the chief rigs is very easy to learn since it is a touch screen, so you click where you want to interact, but it has very limited functionality compared to the G1000 and the Free 5000, so far we are from the VOR? 51 miles, we're already halfway through this leg. Okay, with these big farm fields, where is the town? There should be a town somewhere. I would expect people tending these fields to live somewhere in the vicinity. Okay, so once we get to this waypoint, our next heading will be 155. Oh, not the altitude. Do tell me I'm moving the wrong knob. So this way we are going to fly over the direction over the VOR, which we should be following after it. And after that, our next VOR will be 116.3. So I can already enter that. And that VOR is actually just at the airport where we are flying to at Trujillo. Is that a volcano? Looks cool. Five more miles to the VOR station. I expect it to be somewhere around an airport. Of course, we may not be able to see it if there will be a cloud just underneath it. I have to say though that these kind of clouds between us and the ground looks really cool. I like what Microsoft did with the low altitude clouds. I don't know which sim update it was, but it looks cool. And now we are already moving away from it. So it might not be an airfield after all. Let's check if we can already see the next VOR, and we can. It needs a bit of course suggestion, but nothing big. And that also means that we can enter the ILS as the next frequency, which is 109.7. There must be quite a crosswind if we need to fly almost 10 degrees, so even more than 10 degrees to keep our direction. Or it was only for the correct radial. It was. Alright. And it's only 35 miles left now. We might even start our descent. Let's get down first to, let's say, 5,000 feet. Let's try to keep the speed limits this time and decelerate all the way to 250. And right into the clouds we fly, but we won't need to worry about icing. It's almost 15 degrees outside. Okay, approaching 250 knots. We even overshot it a bit. And the Albatros does not have an auto thrust, so I can just set it to keep it. Even so, this version of the Albatros, this drop bear, was the most modern I could find when I was looking for my version, which one to buy. So we are now almost at 5,000 feet and we are 14 miles out. And this VOR would take us directly over the airport, which we do not want. So let's get over to heading mode and fly, say, 15 degrees. Let's also get down to 3,000 feet. But let's make it flight level change. And that way we will be able to keep our speed better. We may even change to the ILS, so we will be able to grasp our location relative to it. Okay. We are IMC. Let's get our speed down to 200 knots. And let's release the gears. Is that the airport? It is, and we are way too close. So we will need to maneuver a bit, and we will need to also take care about our speeds better and not just talk. Okay, we ended up too close, so I'm going to fly a bit over. Let's go flaps landing, but let's also keep the speed about 140. Now we are flying directly outside. I bet ATC wouldn't like it, but there is no ATC today. Not with the Albatros. Okay, we are 6 miles out. Let's go autopilot off and try to do this landing manually. It's not a problem if we lose some altitude while taking this turn. We also might want to turn a bit faster. We are too fast with flaps landing. Let's collect a few G's. Let's try to align the needles. We don't need the GNS. But we are way below the glide path. So let's try to stop our thing. I think I see the runway lights. Oh, it's not the runway lights. That should be the runway. And here's an exit already that we can use. We did not even need the air brakes. Oh, and there's our welcome party. How should we? Which direction are they expecting us? Oh, I see. So this is the line we are to follow. Okay. We arrived more or less in one piece. Actually, I think it was kind of an okay landing. So we may start turn things off. And my keyboard just disconnected. Which way does it look better? That's for the arrival. So, welcome to Trujillo, Captain Carlos Martínez Airport. I hope you enjoyed the flight. It was really nice weather for it. And for a bit notice, I'm going to be away for a while, so no videos in the about the next 2 weeks. So see you later, a lot later actually. And goodbye.